Scales! I'm Brian.
And I'm Brad.
And Rian Johnson returns for, or Benoit Blanc. God damn it. The joke that I was bad at this was supposed to come at the end of it. Benoit Blanc and Rian Johnson return for another Knives Out murder mystery with a whole other shebang of A-list talent. And now I was going to say, did it sound professional? But I couldn't even make it that far. I've seen the movie 3 times already in theaters. If you're listening to this, seriously, the one reason I suggest people check it out in a theater is not the crowd. That's great, or a great reason. It's not the big screen. It's not the quality of the sound design and the popcorn and all that. It's the fact that you can't rewind. And I mean, but seriously, like most of murder mysteries, the clues are, well, no, the good ones, the good murder mysteries, the clues are there. Maybe not every clue is on screen, but there's enough clues at the end of the day that you can figure it out. And removing the temptation to pause and ponder it while your attention is undivided, and by that I mean you're only thinking to yourself, and also resisting the urge to rewind to be like, was it that way? It wasn't. Take it if you think that either one would be a temptation. Get to the theater now.
Yeah, ASAP, because it's only in theaters for a week or 10 days or something like that.
It's just 1 week, and I'm uploading. This is Saturday. I'm uploading it Sunday morning because you've got Monday, Tuesday. I saw it first on a Wednesday, so
yeah, because I think it was a Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
And the theaters are getting packed. So yes. Wednesday was like very light because it was noon and it was a Wednesday. So Monday and Tuesday might be better luck, but get to it.
Yeah, I can tell you that I went on Friday night, and when I booked my tickets, like 4 or 5 in the afternoon, everything was basically sold out, or I couldn't get a pair of seats together. I would have to sit like one here, one there. So there was one showing.
Really? You couldn't even do that? Damn.
Well, there was one showing over the course of like, I think it was like one showing out of like 7. Like I could get a pair of tickets, and it was like 3rd row, like off to one side. So it wasn't the best viewing angles, but I mean, I still saw the movie. It was fantastic. This isn't an action movie, so it's not super like, you don't have to worry about, fight chase scenes like you would in like say James Bond. Boom.
And one other thing, it's more of a general issue, but I would suggest you sit further forward in the theater if you can, just because this whole calendar year, I've never been to a movie theater where both of these have been true. There's been a healthy sized audience. Everyone stayed off their fucking phone. Not once have both of those been true, and it's really fucking aggravating that 1 or 2 years away from a theater, everyone's an idiot. Like my second time watching Glass Onion, which was Friday, yesterday, I was sitting, I had people next to me, and on the left, 5 minutes in, the guy looks at his phone and is just looking, and I have to lean forward. He's still just looking, and then I go, seriously, dude? And he puts it away, and 5 minutes later, he took it out again, and I had already been considering relocating because I was like, it's going to annoy me wondering if he's going to fucking get on his phone again the whole goddamn movie. I know I've seen this movie before, but that's just so stupid, and you're right next to me. And then he pulled it out again, and I just collected my stuff, and I was like, you're fucking ridiculous, dude. And I came to the second row. I was so much happier. So if idiocy like one, please just stay off your fucking phones. Get out of it. Walk out of the theater. You can be on the side, still be watching it, and text or whatever the fuck. But if that would be annoying to you, just get your seats further forward, because there'll be less idiots who could annoy you. I know that's not directly linked to that movie, but it was the second time just like broke me. I was like, how? Anyway, so
So I confirmed it here real quick. It will run until the 29th. So that'll be Tuesday, November 29th.
Thought it got extended. Which is ironic because Clerks 3 had more days. It had less viewings, less screenings, and less theaters, but shut up. I'm cherry picking my information. So yeah, go. Otherwise, you're going to be waiting till like almost Christmas. Yeah, the 23rd.
Yeah, the 23rd, yep.
Which, by the way, I am watching it a fourth time. I've maxed out my AMC A-list, so I literally don't have the choice to go back, even though today, earlier, I was like, kind of want to go back and see Glass Onion again. And yesterday I watched it back to back 2 more times. It's just good. I also recommend 2 viewings because I had some like, yeah.
There are a lot of Easter eggs, and this movie does allow you to, for the most part, figure it out beforehand if you were to pay attention.
Oh man, second and third viewings, I was like, even the third viewing, I was like, okay, I can't look away for this part. I'm looking for it. God damn it, I missed it. Not only for like all those Easter eggs, which yes, great point, but also just criticisms. Like I watched Jeremy John's criticism after having watched it a couple times, or all 3 times, or his review, and his criticisms like half of them were like, why do we have tech that doesn't exist on a billionaire's island? And I was just like, okay, that's a little bit. There's I have 4 things that I think I can count off the top of my head that I won't say here, especially because 2 of them are fucking hilarious. But I was like, okay, that's too much. But his other criticisms, I agreed with on a first viewing, and on my second viewing, I was like, I was wrong. But yeah,
I was a little nervous through that section.
Which section?
You're good section.
What? Wait,
the you're good section. So what? You're good. Don't worry about it. That section. I was a little nervous through that section.
That I want to meet Rian Johnson and be like, yo, you trolling? Are you trolling? I mean, I know it's for the plot too. You need it for the plot. I agree, but you trolling? Like, yeah. I can't say. We'll talk about that in the spoiler. And with that 75-minute amount, 75 minutes worth of us preparing you for the movie. What did you think of it, Brad? You've seen it only once. So
I've seen it only once. Overall, I thought it was very, very good. I like the beginning, middle. They throw something unorthodox at you a little bit to kind of throw you off because you coming in knowing that this is a murder mystery. So they kind of throw you off for a second just to kind of like get you reset, which I thought was really clever. I like that they've already greenlit the third one. So they've already greenlit a third one. So if you were concerned on, do I want to get into this franchise or not? Well, they've already got one really good one. This one's probably better, and then they've already greenlit the third one. So this is something you can safely get into and have at least a trilogy.
Yeah, and you can do it out of order. I was telling my friend Melissa up in Canada, like, yeah, go with your arm can. Go down. You don't even need to watch Knives Out first. Yes, and ironically, Rian Johnson said that he had it in a script or in his contract with Netflix that he could go away and do another film before doing the third one. Natural. Totally makes sense. But he was like, actually, I'm just getting back into it. And him and Daniel Craig have said in probably 75 different interviews that they won't stop making these movies until one of them dies, and then they'll stop making them. And not gonna lie, once Craig starts getting up there, I would love every single movie for them to refilm like a something like 10 minutes worth of a new adventure. Whatever the next idea that Rian Johnson's got in, just write in a beginning for Benoit Blanc and have him be the murder victim. and then cap it off or finalize it or something, or because it'll all depend on how Daniel Craig passes away, but I don't want it to end without having a proper goodbye, Daniel Craig. And if either option's tragic, but if Rian Johnson passed now, then I wouldn't feel okay, because then someone else has to finish the script.
Yeah, he's pretty young yet.
Huh?
Isn't Rian Johnson pretty young yet?
Yeah, but
48,
yeah.
So okay.
Chadwick, Walker, or Chadwick and Paul. Young people. I'm always scared of tragedy these days. I forgot to say, I wore a spy shirt, my only detective shirt that I own, because even though I've watched probably 3 episodes total ever, I backed the Veronica Mars Kickstarter, and I can fit it in again. So I was like, this is appropriate. One thing to say before going into it is think about everything about Knives Out and expect it to be different. Yeah. Like that, Rian Johnson doesn't want to give you the same thing again. I'm sure he doesn't want to do that every time he goes back, but in this one, it's like, let me just say one spoiler and skip ahead 1 minute if you don't want even one spoiler. One spoiler, the movie does not open with the death or knowing that there is a death or anything like that. And a lot, based on the reviews that I've seen, that negatively impacted a couple people. Not too many, like very few, but a couple people, like you could tell just the structure being off from compared to the last one was like, what? And I had that reaction too. Not in a negative way, but like, I don't know how to feel about this. Interesting. And I was enjoying myself, but I was like, I don't know if this is the right call. Then I watched it. I was like, I should shut up. Or on a second watch, I want to give everyone grace if they only saw it once. Because if I was reviewing this after one watch, I'd be criticizing so many things, and I'll mention in the spoiler review that I think I was wrong about. But the big struggle is that I don't think there are many murder mystery movies that are as good as these. Because afterwards I watched the commentary for Knives Out, then I watched Knives Out, then I was like, oh, should I watch Knives Out again? All right, let's go do Death on the Nile, because that one's clever. But most murder mysteries, and Rian Johnson has said this, and Catherine Hahn, I think, was talking about how the middle gets really boring. It's just a long question and one exciting part. So on a rewatch, it's just boring. And I think Murder on the Orient Express qualifies as that for me. I've watched it once. I don't want to rewatch it again. Death on the Nile, I've watched a few times.
Yeah, I mean, only because it's got Gal Gadot. I mean, fantastic.
Honestly, actress. No, they did a great job casting whoever Armie Hammer's first fiance was. Slight spoilers, but go to HBO Max and watch it. That, like, I was immediately like shipping them, and then when Gal came in, I was like, "You stay the fuck back. She's adorable. Don't hurt your friend." Slight spoilers, but that there's been so many. It would be like telling you the first 5 minutes of A Star Is Born. There's been 4 movies of those. It's not spoilers like Glass Onion spoilers.
The amount of cameos, a lot of the amount of stars in this movie is climbing up there, probably well into the double digits.
That's one thing. It doesn't bother me. Although one cameo was kind of hilarious, but it kind of owned how it just came out of nowhere. and there's an Alexa reference in there. Let's just say that so everybody can know what I'm talking about if you've seen it. That one stuck out, but it kind of felt fun to me. But it did kind of feel like Clerks 3 cameos.
Yeah, like not a level.
Yeah, not. I'd say half as much, but like where, boom, we've got 3 minutes and you've got 5 cameos, and it's working. Like it's not just like walking into a supermarket and running into 5 different people randomly, all separately. It works, but I was like, oh, God, this is reminding me of Clerks 3 a little bit, and I haven't heard one person complain about it. Did those cameos work for you?
Yeah, I would say they did. I didn't have a problem with any of them. Some of them were pretty well put in there. Like some of them happen within the first couple of minutes of the movie, so it's not, they're not kind of jamming some in there. But the one I didn't realize until after looking at this list was
slight spoiler. Should we say slight spoiler? Okay.
No, was another actor that was in another largely famous Rian Johnson movie. So it's not surprising that he's able to contact this person.
Was it? Wait.
It's a movie that we've reviewed on this channel.
Looper?
Yes.
I mean, okay. All right, I know who you're talking about, and it's a running thing. Let me guess. I mean, it's literally a running thing in Knives Out and Star Wars, in everything he's done since Brick. But is it Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
Yes.
Yes, that is a super surprising cameo. I challenge you to watch the movie and spot him. I challenge you. And by the way, I haven't watched Brick, but I watched The Brother Bloom, and I didn't know he was just putting him in for cameos. There's this one like tracking shot or dolly or whatever where it's sliding sideways and like along parallel to a wall, and you just see Joseph Gordon-Levitt in a club, and he puts on like a fedora, and it keeps going, and it's so obvious that I'm like, oh, he's coming. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's going to be in this movie. He's coming back, and then he didn't, and I didn't get it. I was like, why? Why did you do that? But now I'm like, okay, I got you. I don't. What do you want to say? What should we say about this movie that's not a spoiler? Besides, I think it sits up nicely. If you could get Blu-rays of these, which you're not going to be able for these two, 2 and 3, I think there'd be a great steelbook set.
Yeah, I think that Netflix should definitely look into it. I know that they're kind of a little wishy-washy on some of that stuff. They're wishy-washy on releasing this movie in theaters too for quite a while. And I think that's why they only got like the week that they've gotten. Yeah. And with only certain cinemas in certain areas at certain times. I mean, there seems really crazy kind of the hoops you have to jump through to see this movie sometimes. But I mean, I think this would go great if they put these two out on Steelbook and the next one out on a Steelbook, or I think they could make some money, but I don't know why they don't, but it's Netflix for you.
I mean, I get it. They're just going more extreme than HBO used to be with Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones
now they're out on Blu-rays.
No, yeah, I mean, by that I mean, I noticed when Game of Thrones would be out that HBO would put Game of Thrones out and wait like an exhausting amount of time to actually put it on Blu-ray, and that was a great strategy to keep people paying for the subscription if they want to keep watching it. And then because they're paying for the subscription, which is cheaper than the Blu-ray would be, they can try to get hooked in. You can try to get them hooked into other stuff and keep them longer and milk that teat, which is more of a reference to this movie than you might think. So I get it, but at
the same time, like you can sell the subscription and then wait. Knives Out has been out long enough that you could put it out on DVD, get a boost in sales. Sell 1 million copies of it. You're gonna make some money.
Yeah, I just realized that I don't, unless they do some like Disney Sony level shit, which I guess it's not going to be that extreme. But a different studio did Knives Out, so you can never have a box set unless that studio and Netflix can get along. What I would say is, for a long time, I've been meaning to make a video saying that Netflix needs to make these members only clubs that are kind of like mini Disney parks, where you could go and like go on a VR car ride that's 6 Underground or something, and see movies in a theater, but it's the Netflix theater. So you go with your subscription, and you're like, it could be like A-List, but for their members only clubs, and you get to see the premiere with a crowd. I think it would be really cool and smart if they started doing exclusive steelbooks in the members only clubs and nothing else. Like literally just a steelbook, 4K Blu-ray, 1 disc with all the special features, and then nothing else.
Yeah.
But it does make copyright theft easier, though.
Yeah.
So they might have that concern.
I'm looking at this. The production company for both of them was T Street.
That is Rian Johnson's production company. That's
okay.
They kept ownership of the franchise, which is why they were able to go to Netflix.
Okay. And then Lionsgate has distribution rights for the first one.
Lionsgate, I believe, is the one that Netflix would have to get along with.
Yeah, and then Netflix has the second one right now for distribution.
Yeah.
But I mean, they can easily sell the distribution rights off to Lionsgate and let them have both of them, and it'd be pretty an easy handshake.
I mean, if they wanted to, but I think Netflix would be as willing to do that as Sony would be willing to sell Spider-Man back to Disney.
Yeah, I mean, but I think that's just to keep their hands in the pot a little bit. I don't think it's really. I don't think there's a price dollar figure that Disney could come with and say, we want those. And I don't think there's a dollar amount that you could realistically give to them that wasn't in the nine digits.
Well, in terms of the Spider-Man deal, really quickly, if Sony ever gets sold, Disney actually gets those rights back immediately. So it's there. I don't want to take 10 minutes to tell you about it, but there's a very good reason why Disney actually has zero interest in offering to buy Spider-Man back. But in terms of Lionsgate and Netflix, I think ultimately it would probably end up being in Lionsgate's favor to be paid by Netflix to do a box set. As in, like, this is going to do bangers for Netflix. The third one's going to do bangers for Netflix. I'm hoping Netflix comes back as like, here's $200 million, 4 and 5. And then it's just going to become a Netflix franchise. And if people want a box set and Netflix would actually be down to do it, then Netflix just ends up being the one in the power position, not only because they're spending buku bucks on this shit. I mean, Lionsgate spent $40 million on Knives Out. Netflix paid $1 million just for the right to make it.
Wow.
Yeah. So, or to make both of them, 2 and 3. So I think Netflix would end up being in the powerful position there, and Lionsgate might consider themselves lucky to be like, wait, you want to do a 5-movie box set and we actually get 20%? Okay.
Yeah, but I think there'll come a time.
When Discovery buys Netflix.
When it fails, yeah, probably. when Netflix starts sloping, because it's already kind of petered off a little bit. I mean, but just because everybody has a streaming service now, so the numbers have petered out, and that's not a secret. Yeah,
it actually recently the stock went up because they had more growth than expected after that last time when it bombed. And they lost some people. Yeah. But all right. Anything else you want to talk about in the spoiler free before we give our ratings?
Oh no.
All right, what's your rating?
I'm going with a strong mushroom.
Yeah. I'll just go with you. I was like, it's definitely, I'm not going to say it's ayahuasca, but I kind of just want to shower it with love and give it a mushroomy ayahuasca, but that would be disingenuous. I'm in the afterglow, bud. I just, I don't know why I called the audience bud. It's very confusing since it's just me and you right now.
Yeah. That's all right.
But yeah, mushroom. That would be me.
Yeah.
There's not an outro for this, right? Bye.
This movie may have been a mushroom.
Sorry, I've edited so many Bond episodes today. My brain's not in this gear. Or it may be a mushroom. But
every penny of it. Oh, sorry.
But either way, this movie is dope because movies are dope. How did your producer open a can of beer in the background? Very impressive, puppy.
Yeah, the paws. The paws are just really good.